repetition is so un-PC.
No,
how can you
that's
possibly
in
call
the
it miss?
beginning. Oh, is
If
there?
the t-shirts for
Wow, how
you,
invasive
always,
can you get into somebody's
before
life?
she had a chance to guess what's out of her mind, he tugged them all. He tugged the hem of her long-sleeve t-shirt over her head. I found it.
Wow.
A much better view. Lord, she was gorgeous. He trailed the tip of his index finger down the V of her breast. He then traced a line just under the lacy
There's a breast
edge.
V? Where's the breast V?
I was gonna...
Is it down like here?
I can try.
Then traced the line just
Why
under the
did
lacy
Sarah?
edge of her broad. Her skin was so soft, so smooth, and he wanted her. Now, what time did you say Tanya would be home? She shook her head. No idea, but it's going to be late? She's going out straight from work, so yes, reasonably late. Good. Because I can feel an attack of cavemanitis coming on. He scooped her into her arms the way he had on Saturday night when they danced together. Which is your room? He asked as he carried her out of the kitchen. Top of the stairs, second door on the right. He kissed her long and hard and slow. And then carried her up the stairs. He opened the door and said, "I'm so glad you have a double bed, estimada, and lots of pillows. I like to read in bed on a Sunday morning," she admitted. He dipped his head slightly to nibble her earlobe. "I like doing something else. Shall I show you?" She laughed.
Will, I think you have to read the whole book to me.
Let me finish. Let me continue. She laughed. "I thought you'd never ask." He set her back down on her feet. She closed the curtains and switched on the bedside lamp, then walked over to him. "You need to get out of those wet clothes," she told him. "Good plan." He spread his hands. "I'll leave it to you. Shall I?" She tugged at the hem of his sweater and he raised her arms, letting her pull the garment over his head. She fanned her fingers over his pectoral muscles. "Gorgeous," she breathed. The feeling was very mutual, he thought. "My turn," he said, and dealt swiftly with her bra before cupping her breast and rubbing the pads of his thumbs against her hardening nipples.
Okay, I wasn't really listening to like the hardening nipple, and I was like, what?
Preciosa, he murmured. So beautiful. Her fingers were shaking slightly, he noticed as she undid the button of his jeans. By the time she finished, he was shaking too. "You're driving me crazy," he said softly. He stepped out of his jeans, removing his socks as he did.
Removing socks!
So
You know how awkward that would be?
I would apply the removal of socks! But then again, you'd end up seeing somebody
it
wearing
bothers me when people
socks!
don't take their socks off. Take your socks off.
What do you mean when people don't take their socks off? How often are you doing this sort of thing, Will?
When I see things and they don't have socks, and they have socks on. It's
How often do you see that people are wearing socks, Will?
She ran her hands lightly down his sides.
People have foot
"You're
fetishes.
beautiful." He laughed. "How can a man be beautiful?" "You are," she insisted. "That morning I left you in bed. It was a real wrench to leave. I wanted to kiss you
And you're
all the way
beautiful,
down
man.
your spine to wake you. I can pretend to be asleep if you wish, and you can kiss me any way you want to wake me." He moistened his lower lip. "You've just put some serious X-rated pitches in my head, so I hope you have protection." She shook her head.
Whoa.
He sucked in a breath at the right moment and felt as if he was going to implode. He wanted her so much, but he was going to be sensible about it. Do the right thing. "Okay.
Pause
Is
for
there a
a moment.
late-night chemist or supermarket nearby?" "Chemist? They're British."
Yes. Well.
"Yes, but you don't have to go down there." He frowned. "How so?" "Because I'm on the pill. Not for contraceptive purposes," she explained, "but my periods are hideous, and this makes them manageable."
Oh, that'll make her think
That sets the
more.
mood even more big.
I bleed profusely once a month. Let's get it on.
She went
Yeah, or
very, very
or like the
still. So
commercial
you're
for the
saying
thing with,
you trust me?
where it
She
makes-
nodded. "I trust you to not give me sperm that are winners? Okay."
No, it's...
Other way.
Anyway,
Diseases?
oh, disease. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Next you'll move
No,
on
men
to
are
someone
trained.
about
The
her
number
genital
one
itch or
consequence of
something.
pregnancy
Yeah.
is babies.
What?
No,
We're
you didn't
trained.
pronounce
The
it
number
right.
one consequence of sex is babies.
Yes, the number one consequence of pregnancy is
That-
also...
that's
I'm so turned on I can't think straight.
Oh, okay.
And this he knew was a huge thing for her. Trust.
Oh,
Something
not
he
baby.
too found it. Who cares? So could I? He kissed her lightly, then climbed. What? 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 It's over.
He's quick.
Maybe, just maybe, he should try. Thank you, he said softly and kissed her. He made love with her very slowly, very tenderly. Afterwards, she curled in his arms. I could go to sleep now. So could
That
I,
was quick.
he admitted.
Yeah, that was
Which
really
would be
Big build up
unfulfilling.
for
Because her housemate was waiting
I don't-
home.
What's
And if he was here tomorrow morning when Tanya got up, there would be a lot of awkward questions. Questions that would make Becky
Whatever.
swerve.
Same thing.
But I
Sounds
better
similar.
go. He kissed her lightly and then climbed out of bed and dressed swiftly. That's not the only
Well, then why does it matter that he likes all
When
the
she
fucking
pushed
pillows?
the covers back, he leaned in to kiss her again.
Who?
I'll see myself out. You stay here. He stroked her face. So, are you busy tomorrow? Not exactly, though I do need to catch up on chores and housework, she said.
Oh.
Then how do you fancy catching a late afternoon film at the cinema? Then have an early meal and go back to my place. He watched her expression closely. And maybe you could stay over, have breakfast with me before our shift. For a moment he thought she was going to refuse. And then she smiled. That would be lovely. Good. I'll call you tomorrow. Sweet
Kind of
dreams.
guy. Has a
He
half
kissed her
leg,
again and then left the
and
room,
then, like,
pausing at the
starts,
doorway to
you know,
blow her a kiss.
stares at
Becky
the
lay
rope
nestled
with-
among the pillows, feeling warm.
The type of guy who's a Mediterranean doctor.
Just thinking about her gorgeous
So yeah,
Catalan lover and how
I think it was
amazing he
that
made her feel.
Catalan lover?
Come on.
But eventually real life trickled back in and she
Catalina.
remembered the washing
I would
up.
be like,
After the water fight, the kitchen
That's
must be in a
fancy.
state. She climbed out
Water
of bed,
fight.
grabbed her dressing gown and belted it tightly around her waist and then headed downstairs. When she reached the kitchen doorway, she stared in amazement. The washing was all done and stacked on the draining board, and the water on the floor had been mopped up. She hadn't expected Leandro to do that. Michael certainly wouldn't have done it. He
Okay.
would have left the cleaning. So maybe,
You're such a jerk.
just maybe, Leonardo was different. Maybe you could be completely focused on your
I hear my neighbors looking at the nose at
and
me.
be
I don't
nice
know.
at the same time. Not trample on other people's feelings. She grabbed her mobile phone from her handbag and sent him a text. Thank you for clearing
The
up.
door's open.
You didn't have to, and I appreciate it.
Are these euphemisms?
It was a
or,
while
like,
later when he replied, Derez X. What? She smiled. She was still smiling the following day when Leandro picked her up and stowed her small overnight bag in the back of his car.
It would be more fun if
Becky
you stowed
couldn't
her.
remember the last time.
They chopped her up.
But Leandro laced his fingers through hers and made her feel warm and secure
That's loud.
all through the film. It was definitely starting to feel like a relationship.
Oh,
Should I look for more sex?
Yes.